Hey, welcome. It is Phil Ratcliffe with Rebel Financial, and thanks again for taking a part out of your day to join us for our weekly live broadcast. Today we have Anna Leeper here from the Dublin Arts Council. Thank you, Anna, for coming and joining us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So it's a little bit rainy, but at least it's going to
Yes.
cool down a little bit. So, just a little bit of an introduction. Anna works with the Dublin Arts Council for the last 3 years.
Mhm.
Previously, you were with the Ohio Arts Council and graduated locally from Ohio State. And then we were even talking a little bit before that you're involved as an ensemble member on the Mad Lab.
Yes, down at
Theater
Mad
as
Lab
well.
Theater downtown.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
correct. Yeah.
Okay, well, just probably for so many of us that think we're sophisticated, what is an art council?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I think an arts council kind of can define itself in many different ways.
Mhm.
It depends on the specific organization, but the overall goal of an arts council is to enrich the lives of the people it serves through the arts. Now, that could be through grant programs where
Mhm.
you're giving money to
Helping
community
artists.
organizations,
Yeah.
helping artists. That could be through events that serve the community. So there's a wide range of things that an arts council can do.
And I was kind of impressed when we were talking earlier because, I think a lot of people sometimes that aren't as much into art think that it's stuffy and boring. But
Sure.
it seems like you had a lot of fun events coming up, and we'll talk about that. But,
Absolutely.
Is that a common misperception that people just think it's boring?
Well, I think there's a perception of the arts that a lot of kids growing up were forced to go to museums on field trips and that kind of thing, and that's
Sure.
what their perception of art is. And if you really think about it, art is so much more than that. It can be public art. We have a robust public art program in Dublin that
Mhm.
you see these sculptures out and about, and sometimes it doesn't even connect. Oh, somebody made that and put
Yeah.
that there. It can be music, dance, concerts are art. So
Absolutely.
I think part of what Dublin Arts Council does and why I love being part of Dublin Arts Council so much is that we really try to remove that barrier, that mental barrier to, the arts aren't for me.
Sure.
And we try to make it accessible to everybody and give them arts experiences that are going to keep them coming back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So now that we talked about that, what does Dublin's Art Council do specifically?
Sure. So Dublin Arts Council, we have a wide range of programs actually. So our mission statement is that we engage the community, encourage creativity, and foster lifelong learning through the arts.
Mhm.
So everything we do ties back into that mission. So we have, again, as I was mentioning before, a really large public art program. If you're familiar with the Field of Corn sculpture in Dublin,
that one is like, it's
yes.
always out there.
Yes, and we've been talking about that
You
recently.
go past the Tuttle Mall and turn right, it's right there.
Oh,
right?
there's always a reaction
Yeah.
to it,
Yeah.
definitely. It's and the history of that one's fantastic. So that's our probably most famous public art piece. We have 23 stops on a cell phone tour, though, that you can go
cool.
around and see all of this public art in Dublin. In addition to that, we have some other public art programs like our river boxing program, which is a series of hidden public artworks that you have to go out and find. We do a summer concert series that's in full swing right now, where every Sunday evening we get people in Scioto Park up in Dublin and just get together for a community concert. We have a visual art series where we have rotating artists in our gallery space at Dublin Arts Council, and we do community arts grants as well. So like we were talking about earlier,
Schools
we do
or artists. And,
sure, we give
yeah.
back money to, for example, the Dublin Area Art League, which is a great community organization. Let's see who else. Dublin bands. I don't know if you've heard of like the Dublin Silver Band. They're fantastic.
Are they?
They've won some awards. They're great. So again, it's about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I really think about that because I work a lot with the universities, and it's very interesting to me to see the different colleges at different universities that are really elevated versus the others. So, for instance, when you go to Ohio State, obviously it's the business. and the
Sure,
medical,
sure.
Because they get all the money. But
Right.
interestingly, when I go down to UC, the arts is pretty much gotten
They've
most
got a
of the
great
money,
program there.
and it's awesome down there. But that's probably thanks to different people in the community that have given through organizations like you and to the universities
Exactly.
to support that. It's whoever's giving what is what
Sure,
is going to get elevated. So, it surprises me because I feel like so many people around here like art that more people aren't giving around here because I know people in the theater and what's that department
Right.
at LSU, and I'm just, why don't we have a better? Not that it's not good. It just doesn't have that much funding per se,
Sure,
you
sure.
know, versus others or what. So, okay, so now I get past that awkward part. But I am going to ask you a question because I feel like it is a societal question, and you know, we have, especially in Western society, but I think almost everyone is adopting it now, just because economically it's been so successful, been evolving more and more towards science and engineering. And we
Sure.
tend to dump most of our resources back into that. So tell us about, you know, why is art important, and are we missing out? What's your thoughts?
Yeah,
on that,
well,
you know?
I think, you know, the STEM field, the science, technology, engineering, and math is incredibly important.
Absolutely.
However, for me and for the people I work with, we like to think of it more as STEAM. We like to do the science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Sure.
Because there's a huge arts component that's involved in almost everything that people don't always recognize right away, but if you point it out to them, you know, it makes sense. So for example, your graphic designers, your people who are generating ideas, there's a certain creativity needed, and it's particularly in the arts that gets fostered. And so when we're advocating for arts education, we're advocating for people who have that creative side to their brain and who are able to take both the logic and the engineering and everything
Sure.
and mix it with out of the box solutions and being able to think creatively, and art really develops that.
I you know, it's interesting because I can't remember how long ago it was. I probably should have looked it up before this, but I actually watched one of the what is the name of it, where they do the those different videos, the ones that the academics do.
Is it a TED Talk?
TED Talk.
Yes.
And there was a good TED Talk that was talking about when you stimulate people on their creative side, even if they are a bunch more math or engineering, they perform a lot better. They learn faster and better. And so there's actually like data out there supporting that, whereas before a lot of people say it's just wasting our time. We could have spent more time on this, but you may be hurting yourself in the long term because we weren't meant to just do that.
Exactly, exactly. I think as humans, there's a certain element of us that is meant to create. And art doesn't have to be, you know, sitting down with a paintbrush and painting a canvas. I mean, I consider architecture an art form, you know.
Absolutely.
The planning and design,
There's lots of things that's an art and a science.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. There's more things are mixed than people realize.
Sure, okay. So, I mean, I think you've already mentioned some, but what are some of the current or upcoming events that you guys are sponsoring or that people should know about or maybe want to get involved with?
So we've got a couple of really exciting things going on right now. So the first thing I would definitely want to mention is that concert series I talked about before. Every Sunday through July 30th, we are having a local or regional artist come in and perform for free at Scioto Park up in Dublin. It's the park with the leather lip sculpture is how most people know of it. And this upcoming weekend, we've got Alexis Gomez, and if that name sounds familiar to you, you may recognize her from season 14 of American Idol. She was a contestant and made it to the top 16.
How do you get connected with the people? Do they have all have some local connection or no?
Not necessarily. You know, we actually, our coordinator for Sundays at Scioto is a fantastic networker, and she goes to the Arts Midwest conference every year where a lot of regional performers come in and makes connections there. She speaks with agents who promote different artists, and then Alexis, actually, who's performing, grew up in my hometown, so we had that connection there. I think it's about using your network and
they can find this on your website, right?
Absolutely.
Where the program events and you know, et cetera. And then I was looking at your all's Facebook page as well too. You probably post a lot of the stuff on here, like
we do.
Events. Yeah, there it is.
Yes, that's our upcoming concert this weekend.
Well, that was kind of up there, and then you know I pulled up your Instagram just because you know. We try to use Instagram, but this is way more up your old alley than ours.
The visual,
you've got
the creativity.
Lots of good pictures to be taken about performers and artists,
Sure.
etc. So
now, while we're on this page too, speaking of programs we have going on right now, I just want to point out these two pictures right here, which I think are really fun.
That's on your main website too.
It is, yeah. So these are two of our public art pieces. This is Watch House in Kaufman Park, and then this is Out of Bounds in Avery Park.
Yeah.
If you notice, there's some fiber art on there that may not always be there, and we have this amazing program right now called Yarn Over Dublin, and I don't know if you've heard of yarn bombing before. That's the term for it, where it's a non-destructive form of street art, where people will clandestinely create these pieces and then place them in the community. Yeah, and so we've been working with senior citizen communities in Dublin and having them create this artwork, and then we went and installed it all over.
Somewhere.
Yeah, and so it's installed on a lot of our public artwork throughout Dublin. Again, on dublinarts.org, you can go to the Art in Public Places page, and there's a Yarn Over Dublin section, and there's a self-guided tour you can download.
That's cool.
It's really
So you
fantastic.
take some of the idle work of someone to be displayed for everyone else, and you reinvent things that were already there, and that's a good idea.
Exactly, and I wouldn't even call it idle work. I think that this project in particular really gets
I meant that they might have been idle, not
they might
doing
have been,
something
yes,
that nobody else
sure.
would have appreciated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They these community members really came together and formed these close bonded groups and worked together to create these pieces collaboratively, and we had some amazing feedback, like, I know my work is going to be making people happy, and that brings me joy, and so yeah, it's a really fantastic project.
Well, super. Well, hopefully some of you guys can get out there and attend some of those events.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, most of them are for free. You can't beat that. So do you have any parting thoughts or comments about how people might be able to be involved or, do more things with you guys?
Yeah. Well, first of all, almost everything we do, with the exception of our fundraisers, is free and open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something that people should know, is that anytime you're looking for something to do, go to our website, look at our events page. We've always got something going on that is free, family friendly. Bring your kids. It's a really great place to find things going on in Dublin. If you're interested in volunteering, we are always looking to grow our database.
So you're in charge of that too, right?
I actually am not in charge of our volunteers,
okay.
but for certain events sometimes. But we have a wonderful program coordinator who most of that goes through. And our Bread Festival actually is coming up in October, and BREAD is an acronym that stands for Bake, Reconnect, Educate, Make Art, and Celebrate Diversity. So it's a great multicultural festival centered around the idea of breaking bread together. And we always need volunteers for that festival. And so again, on our website, we've got a bread section. If you're interested in volunteering, check it out. We could definitely use you.
Awesome.
So.
Well, thanks so much for being here, Anna. We very much appreciate it. The work that you do, I think, is super important, because I think a lot of our society's lost touch with that. I think as we continue to go forward, I think more machines are going to take over the role of the analytical things we do, and art and the things that we do creatively will hopefully become a more and more important part of our future. So thank you guys again for joining in. Hope that you enjoyed that. Go and do some things with the Dublin Arts Council. And also, join us next week. We've got Tom Holton coming in from the Dublin Historical Society. I think it's going to be a great conversation. Again, a lot of people don't know about historical societies, even the one we've got right downtown by the Crew Stadium as well too. And they're awesome. So join in next week. The week after that, we have another great guest, Genevieve Villegas from the Homeless Family Foundations, and that's going to be a great episode as well. So again, thanks for sharing part of your week with us. Have a super finish of the week. Stay dry out there, and we'll see you next week.